Hello.
All right, what's up? I got Jamie back with me for this week 3. All right, just to kick it off, me versus Austin. Okay, Austin, you got Palmer versus San Francisco. I'm looking at your whole team. He's probably one of your top 3 players, if that. So I think he can do well for San Francisco. Their defense isn't what it's been in the past. Jeremy Hill versus Baltimore. I could see him doing well, although Giovanni Bernard took some carries, a lot of carries last week due to the fumbles. Yeah. So I could see him splitting
time this week, maybe.
And continuing on, Alfred Morris against New York Giants. Their defense is awful, so I can see him doing well. But again, last week, Matt Jones split carries with Alfred Morris. I don't know if it was just, they're taking reps and Matt did good. I don't know if Alfred did bad, but...
That was against St. Louis' D, too.
Was it?
No.
So,
that was against St. Louis that he did good. So.
Okay, well...
Maybe Matt Jones is no joke.
Yeah, well, again, he's splitting carries, I would see, after that performance with Alfred Morris. So, it could take a hit on your team. But if he does well, he's going against the Giants, so... what do you call it? Jordan Matthews versus New York Jets. New York Jets are 2-0. That defense is actually pretty serious to deal with.
Best one in the league right now.
Jordan Matthews, he is the number 1 there, but he hasn't really stepped up the way he should. So I don't see him doing very well against the Jets. Continuing on, Devontae Adams, solid receiver. He got more receptions than I thought he would last week against Seattle. Again, Aaron Rodgers likes to spread the ball around, so we'll see if he does well against a better Kansas City defense. I'd say, I think the Kansas City defense can do pretty well, although they did kind of shake against Denver. Continuing on, Delaney Walker against Indianapolis. Like I've said in the past, he's hit or miss, but Indianapolis' defense has been shaky as of late. They're 0-2, so I can see him doing good. If Mariota gets him the ball, we'll see. Crowell versus Oakland. Crowell did pretty well against who'd they face? Shit. Can't remember who they went against, but I know he did very well in his performance last week, and he's going against Oakland, so I could see him repeating that. Miami defense versus Buffalo. Well, Miami's defense took a shit on you against the Jags. If they took a shit on you versus the Jags, then I think they're going to take a bigger shit against the Buffalo, who's way better than Jacksonville. So, continuing on for Austin, my team for
So you got Ron's team. You got Mariota going against Indy. Indy's defense is not looking pretty good this year, so I see him putting up a couple touchdowns. TJ Yeldon against New England. New England has an alright defense. It's Jacksonville. I mean, I see him maybe scoring a touchdown, but that's about it. Really not much production from Yeldon. Lynch going against Chicago. Great matchup. I mean, Lynch should tear it up against the Bears' shitty defense. T.Y. Hilton going against Tennessee. He has a lingering knee issue.
He stays healthy.
Yeah, I mean, he last week he had to come out like a series or 2 just because his knee was messing up again. So, I mean, if he can stay healthy, the Colts get their offense going, should have a great day. Garcon is still the number 1 because Deshaun Jackson is out. Mm-hmm. They're going against the Giants, which have a below-average defense. If he's kind of touchdown dependent right now. He doesn't get many yards, so if he gets a touchdown, gets like 8, 9, 10 points. Good wide receiver too. Jason Witten, he's coming back from a lot of injuries, but he hasn't missed a game. He's only missed 1 game his whole career. So I mean, he'll put up solid points.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. I mean,
well, you know what? They don't have Tony Romo.
Yeah, Romo's out, but
I remembered that.
I think they'll rely on Witten a lot still because Des Bryant's out, so he's a big guy, big target in the red zone.
Right.
Deion Lewis against Jacksonville. This little guy's been going off for the past 2 weeks. LeGarrette Blount was not a factor even really last week. I think he scored maybe 1.2 points, if that.
Yeah.
He looks presumably to be the man in New England, so good for him, but that could change any week. So
they're going against Jacksonville.
They're going against Jacksonville. I see him putting up good numbers for a flex. Arizona's defense going against San Fran. It should be good points, good amount of points. I'll just say average, maybe like 7, 8 points because San Fran has an all right offense. Out of this matchup, to be honest, I see, if I look at it, I see Ron taking this one just because I look at Austin's team, and Palmer is a really solid quarterback, but it's followed by 2 possible running back committees. And then you got Jordan Matthews being guarded by Darrelle Revis this week. And then you got Devontae Adams going to Kansas City. I mean, dude, your matchups are just looking bad this week. I think Ron takes this one fairly easy.
Computer picked me. I also picked myself. So I honestly think I'll win this one because
just the matchup.
Yeah, your matchups and your teammates shit like you talked about. So anyway, Pagan versus Kess. I'll continue. Tom Brady versus Jacksonville. He's going to light it up. We'll just leave it at that. Trey Mason versus Pittsburgh. I don't think he's going to do that good because Pittsburgh's defense is pretty. They're solid. And Jamie told me earlier that Todd Gurley is off the IR, so that could mean that he's playing this week, obviously.
Yep.
So there might be split carries due to the fact he's a rookie. So it's either hit or miss with Trey Mason. So you can. I don't see him doing very well for you, Pig. DeMarco Murray.
Going against the best defense.
Yeah, the Jets.
Jets.
So, and we found out a stat watching ESPN that there's like 4 or 5 quarterbacks, non-mobile quarterbacks, that have more rushing yards than DeMarco Murray this year. DeMarco Murray did good week 1 due to the fact he had 2 touchdowns. Other than that, he didn't put up like rushing yards, obviously, or real big numbers other than those touchdowns.
Yep.
So against the Jets defense, I don't see DeMarco Murray doing very well. AJ Green, they can do solid against Baltimore. They don't really have their secondary ain't much to mess with. So
it's AJ Green.
Yeah, yeah. So. Emmanuel Sanders, that Detroit defense ain't nothing. Also, they're not playing up to par this year. So I can see if Manning gets on the ball, he can do well. Ebron, the tight end in Detroit, I think he's still got a lot of room to develop. He was drafted a little early, I thought, last year. So he has room to improve. So I'll see if he does well. The defense in Denver is very much improved than last year than people thought. So I don't think he's going to do too well for you, Pig, but he's a red zone target, so I could see maybe a touchdown if that. Vincent Jackson had a touchdown last week. He did pretty well for Jameis. I could see him doing well again for against Houston. So I like that matchup there. Seattle defense for Chicago. I think if whoever plays quarterback for the Bears, it's not going to matter. Seattle's going to do pretty well and come back from that loss against the Packers. All right, here you go, Gene.
I got Kess's team. Eli Manning going against Washington. Eli Manning's never really been a good fantasy quarterback, so I don't see him doing too well. AP fumbled 3 times last week. One of them was recovered by the defense, so it's only -2. But if those other ones were counted, he'd be looking at just a mediocre day. So maybe if you could stay away from the fumbleitis, then he probably will do well. Forsett really wasn't a factor last week, but he'll have a bounce back game. It's Baltimore, and Trestman likes to throw the ball, but
yeah,
we'll see. Yeah. Cobb going against Kansas City. Aaron Rodgers will get him the ball, probably a touchdown, automatic. And then Kendall Wright going against Indy. We haven't seen much of him. I know the first week he caught a touchdown. I really didn't look into him this week, but he's going against Indy's below average defense.
He could do. I think
he could do well. If Mariota finds he likes to throw to him, then good for you, Kess. Jordan Reed going against the Giants. Below average defense. I really haven't looked into Jordan Reed. I know he scored a touchdown, I believe, the first week. So he might bounce back with Kirk Cousins, throwing him again. I don't know if he caught one last week, but maybe he'll get one this week. Nobody in the flex when this video was made, so sorry about that, Kess. Denver's D going against Detroit. Denver's D is like the number 2 ranked defense. They're really good, really solid, like Ron said. Going against Detroit. Detroit's offense hasn't been clicking, but at any moment Detroit's offense could go off. So I don't know. But if I look at it, I'm just liking Pagan's matchups. Brady, will probably go off. So yeah. Cass, if you get your players to play up to par with what they're supposed to be, I could see you having a close game, but I still think Pagan takes it.
Computer picks Pagan, and I pick Pagan. I think it'll be a good game, but I think Pagan will take it. Moving on, we got Timmy versus MTB. All right, Timmy, you got Drew Brees. I think there's some injuries going on with him. I think it's a shoulder.
Rotator cuff.
Okay, I don't know if he's even going to play if that's the case. So.
He said he wants to play, but
I think that's going to be.
Drew Brees hasn't even been able to throw the ball really that much this year. He's looking old. He's looking like Manning.
Oh wow. We'll see if he plays. He's going against Carolina. Luke Kuechly's out with a concussion. I'm not sure if he's back. That was the last thing I heard. So if he's not playing, I guess that makes the defense go down. So even if he's injured, I think that's a hitter. It's gonna be a tough matchup there for Brees. Yeah. Jonathan Stewart. I haven't been keeping tabs on him, to be honest, the last couple of games. But it's Jonathan Stewart. Like I've noted earlier, he's very inconsistent. I do know Cam Newton scored a red zone touchdown. Did a flip over the offensive line. They could have just give it to Stewart. So I don't know. I'm going against New Orleans defense. On that defense, It's just a shitty defense. So I could see maybe if he gets his head out of his ass, he could do good. Or they're going to give Cam Newton the ball more. Moving on. You have Coleman in as one of your running backs. I believe he's out.
Yeah,
so,
he got cracked ribs or something.
So
he'll
you
be
have
out for a
to.
couple
So
weeks.
as of that position, you have to change it. I have no comment there. Antonio Brown for St. Louis. I can see him doing very well, getting those touches.
Antonio Brown's automatic every week.
Yeah, he's on
Automatic.
Tavon Austin. I think this year he's going to break out. He's been doing well the last 2 games. I can see him doing pretty good against the Pittsburgh defense. Even though the Pittsburgh defense is pretty good, it's Tavon Austin. I think he has that little advantage. He's probably your impact player of your whole team. Gronk versus Jacksonville. We'll just move on like last week. Gronk's Gronk. Eric Decker versus Philadelphia. I can see Eric Decker doing pretty well.
Yeah, he got a lot of red zone looks in Indy.
Yeah, so
And then he got hurt. I don't even know if he's.
Oh, I didn't even hear that.
He's hurt.
Well,
I don't know. He may be good to go. I haven't kept track of him because he's not on my team.
Okay, well, if he's hurt, then obviously it's a little matchup there. But if he's not, I could see him doing pretty well with him and being Marsh on both sides. Anyway, Baltimore defense for Cincinnati. I could see Cincinnati running all over Baltimore defense. You know, I mean, they got a solid, okay linebacker core, but after that, Cincinnati could do pretty good work on them. And for MTV.
All right, Mitch. Big Ben went off last week. I see him having another pretty solid game. I mean, it's Big Ben. Jamal Charles going against Green Bay. Green Bay has a pretty good defense, but hopefully Jamal Charles bounced back from those 2 lost fumbles last week. I mean, if he didn't have those, he would have had like 18 points. I'm seeing him, probably like in the 15 or below range. It's Green Bay. I mean,
yeah.
And Latavius Murray actually got his first touchdown last week.
I told him not to start.
Yeah. And
for you.
yeah, so he did, he did good.
Hit or miss.
Yeah, he's going against Cleveland though. Cleveland has a subpar, defense. I see him
They're okay.
probably getting. I mean, yeah, they're all right. So you got Joe Hayden, but I see him probably getting another touchdown. Calvin Johnson. I don't think he's been doing that good. If like I said before, if Detroit can get their offense rolling, he'll be Calvin Johnson. But they are going against Denver. Amari Cooper against Cleveland. He's been having a decent year so far for a rookie. Going against Cleveland, I think he'll be guarded by Joe Hayden.
You would assume so.
I would assume so. So maybe not that good of a game from him. Greg Olsen going against New Orleans.
I think that's a good matchup.
Good matchup. I don't know if he scored a touchdown last week, but hopefully he'll get one this week for you.
It's like the number 1 target there with those injuries.
And then I think this is Dante Moncrief.
Yeah, he had a touchdown against me last week. So
Yeah.
But that offense has been shaky.
Yeah, it's been shaky. It looks like the line can't hold long enough for Andrew Luck to throw the ball. Andrew Luck has been his throws have been off.
Don't know what's going on.
So I don't know. I think it was just kind of magical that he got a touchdown last week. So, yeah, I don't know how he's going to do. Pittsburgh going against St. Louis. Pittsburgh's D should, probably get a couple picks, get you a good amount of points. Again, going against St. Louis. So.